Hello, welcome to episode 73 of No Holds Barred Pod. That's Sal Dodgson.
And that is Don McGowan. How are we doing this week, Don?
Not bad. Better than last week, I think. Yeah.
Excellent.
Not better than the last episode. I haven't been to Legoland since the last episode, so my back's okay.
We'll take your word for it.
Yeah, don't tell anyone.
Oh, bit of housekeeping before we start. If you listen to the last episode, that woman that wasn't Jackie Smith, turns out it was it was Baroness Helena Kennedy, who used to be my boss at the British Council. So I think that's why it was irritating me so much. I'm an idiot. So at least I got that sorted. I'm sure nobody else gave a toss, but I have to put it out there because, God, it was annoying.
One
so telly's off. Won't be being distracted by
brain.
news.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, sugar. Just bashed my...
You're right.
I've managed to cut my arm today, cut my finger, put a big hole in my finger all today. Just, I'm being really clumsy. Anyway. So, yeah. What have you been up to? What's been going on?
What have I been up to? Not a lot. Just, getting through the day. Replanted all the seedlings I killed, the vegetables. Waiting for them to come up again. Now I'm thinking I'm just going to go to B&Q and buy some seedlings because it's being patient and waiting for seedlings is not my bag.
No.
Potatoes are doing well, though, so there's that.
Good. So for the forthcoming apocalypse, you're getting ready for it.
Well, this is it. I was saying to my friend before, I'm planting all these seeds and getting all these... I've got bags of spuds outside. Like, there must be about 5 of them. There's still got a few to go in. I don't eat. I don't know what I'm doing it for. Just in case, I don't know.
Yeah.
I suppose Will can live on mash if he ever moves back in.
Yeah.
Might have to.
Yeah, it's quite a filling substitute.
How's the war going? Has it finished yet?
Oh, yeah, we can talk about the war. No, not really. Nothing much has happened in the war.
Stalemate, really, isn't it? I mean, Lebanon's still getting it. Poor buggers.
Yeah, Israel's still going for it, but Trump's bored off his tit. He just doesn't give a shit about it anymore, Trump. He's just wiped his hands of it, as far as I can tell. So much so that he had Kid Rock addressing the Pentagon this week. Here's a picture of Kid Rock addressing the Pentagon. Literally, that isn't a joke. He was talking about the Strait of Hormuz to the American army in the Pentagon. Kid Rock.
What next? Oscar the Grouch on climate change?
It may as well be at this stage.
This is just batshit. All of it.
And then Pete Hegseth put a post out the following day saying, I took my mate Kid Rock for a ride in a helicopter, and there's him and Kid Rock going for a ride in an Apache gunship. What the fuck?
What did I tell you? What did I say, Roy? What did I say at the last time? There was a helicopter and Kid Rock. Yeah. So it's all arranged between the maggots because they're fucking nuts and they don't care.
It's just mental, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, I know. So Kid Rock is now in charge of the Straits of Hormuz for as far as I can tell. Trump's can't be arsed with any of it anymore. He's just like, yeah, you sort it out yourselves. Here's
Can
Kid
you imagine
Rock.
Adele ringing up the RAF? She just would never do it, would she?
I know. It would have to be someone really kind of washed up in shit. Like, I don't know. Who's been cancelled him?
Right, said
Go
Fred.
Your friends, right, said Fred. Your mates.
Well, do you know what? I backed him up the other day because he came out. He was trying to say that there were 2 Green Party members that got suspended for being anti-Semitic, and I believe they've been arrested now. And if the words he clipped were accurate, then rightly so. But I did notice that the words he clipped, there was no actual source and there were no speech marks. So I questioned him on it. And then somebody else came in and just had a go at him and said, you just, all you did was had a shit one hit wonder, you fucking wanker. I thought, it's a bit harsh. You had a couple of one hit wonders.
2, yeah. Yeah.
He never got back to me, so I don't.
I saw them live once. Did I tell you this?
Why would you tell anyone that?
Not on purpose.
Okay.
Let me clarify that bit. No, it was at my university ball. Yeah. No, they played at my university ball in 1993. It was D Ream were the headliners, and they were fucking great, actually, to be fair.
Impressive.
Right Said Fred were on. I left when they were on and walked, and because Bad Manners were in the other room, so I went and saw Bad Manners. We were really quite good. Plus bust a blood vessel and all that. But yeah, right said Fred. I saw a bit of them live before I left the main hall.
I went to my brother's university ball one year. He went to Buckinghamshire Chilterns University College.
And
And
isn't that what Matt Goodwin went to?
I think I've a hunch it might be,
University.
Yeah, and I saw half of one of the iterations of Atomic Kitten.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember anything about them. I don't think I hung around.
No. I used to get accused of being Howard Donald from in Take That back then because I had really long hair and I had a bit of a beard.
And that coat.
I had a sort of stripy crust. I was a bit crusty back then. No, the fur coat came a few years later. That was my clubbing days. I was a bit of a crusty, but I was on crutches then. I broke my ankle dancing once. So to my brother's band. God, where are we going with this? This is random. Like
I put something on Twitter, but it's fine.
Oh Jesus, yeah. I put something on Twitter the other day. What was it? I can't remember, something that had happened to me, and Baz, our friend Baz on Twitter said, "Oh, you seem to have led a very colourful life, Don." I said, "Yeah, you wouldn't believe it, Baz." I said, "Some amazing, some really quite scary." I said, "I might write it down one day." And he was like, "Oh, definitely write it down." So I might have to get into my memoirs at some point because I have got some stories. Not for
Somebody
the pod,
said
most
to me
of
the
them.
other day, "You look like such a straight," and I'm like, "I'm invisible, mate. It's brilliant."
That's all the best spies. All the best spies look like that. You can just take a step back.
Well, I mean, it was more talking. We were talking about legalized cannabis, and I said I can walk down any street with it because people are just instantly looking for teenage boys. It's fine.
Yeah, true.
And I'm a middle-aged woman, so I don't exist anyway.
Yeah.
Not that I do. I don't practice that, but I could.
Yeah. Strange. Yeah,
anyway,
the war.
Yeah, back to the war.
No, that was it. Nothing's happened. Basically, Trump's bored. Kid Rock's in charge. I wrote my notes.
Kid Rock's in charge?
Well, he was addressing the Pentagon on the Straits of Hormuz, so I'm guessing he's in charge now. May as well fucking be. I mean, him and Hegseth, like two pissheads. I wrote
still
this morning.
Armando Iannucci for fucking making all this up and giving them ideas, but anyway, go on.
Yeah, I know. I wrote this morning in my notes, I said, like, oil prices still going up. And then I said, I will check again later in the day because maybe Trump announces something. About an hour ago, CNN put out a news alert about a potential new renegotiation because it's Friday afternoon, because that's what happens every Friday now. And the oil price has dropped a slight bit since this morning, but it's still above $100. But
it's still creeping up. It's like nudging up, isn't it?
Yeah, it's still really high. Yeah. So, that's it. Nothing else happened really in America this week, as far as I can tell.
Do you think he'll be around by Christmas? Because I just can't see it. Like, if he's still around by Christmas, I'll be calling it automation.
Well, like Biden, they were all saying Biden was like propped up by robots, weren't they? I don't know. He's not well, is he? I mean, he's very, every time he speaks.
In all the ways?
Well, yeah. He just sounds so tired now as well when he speaks. He's very listless and lifeless when he speaks, and he's a bit like this and doesn't.
But I didn't watch a huge amount of it. Do you know what? I did actually listen to the sausage finger speech. And it was quite good, but far too subtle for that baboon. Oh, sorry, primates.
Yeah. Oh, again.
I know, soz. So, yeah. Do you think it landed with any of his, like, J.D. Vance type people? Mind you, they don't give a shit about King Charles, do they? Because they're all proper tapped. At least he's got reverence in some form.
Yeah, true. I think it would have been explained to him afterwards a bit, but he said a few things afterwards, after it all finished, didn't he? He said, oh, the king said this and the king said that, and the king backs me on Iran, and the king doesn't like kissed arm, or whatever he said. I can't remember.
Did he say that?
I don't think he said that. I think I made that up.
I don't mean the king. I mean, Trump said the king said that, because I bet he never.
No, I don't think the Keir Starmer bit, but I think the Iran bit he said. So, yeah. Of course he didn't say that, the king. But But Trump just
Buckingham
lies through his
Palace occupied as well.
Trump just lies through his back teeth, and nobody bothers correcting him anymore because everyone knows it's just all lies. So, the visit went off kind of without incident, really, didn't it? There was nothing exciting happened. Nothing. The speech was quite. Charles's speech was fine, and it was quite barbed,
pointed.
but yeah, as you say, a bit too subtly, wasn't it? Like for a lot of those Americans that were in the room, they just over their heads.
He doesn't hear the words, does he? He just feels the king has come to see me.
That's it.
That's all it's about for him.
Yeah. I did see. What was it? At the very beginning when he first arrived and Trump was talking as he was, yabba, yabba, yabba. And you could see, oh no, it's when he said something about Trump's mum used to fancy when he was Prince Charles.
He was about 3 or something, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was about 9, I think. And he was like, and you should have seen Charles's face. And he was like really proper giving him the side eye. He's like, what the fuck are you on about, mate? But yeah, I mean, there was a few gaffes, but actually Trump managed to stick to a speech for once. He did a whole speech and didn't go off track. The very first one. Yeah, I had it on the radio, and he actually stuck to his script for this entire thing. So yeah, nothing particularly exciting to write home about with that, to be honest. I don't think it's changed anything. It's not gonna. All the press were like, "Oh, this will repair the special relationship that Keir Starmer's destroyed." Oh, fuck off. No, it won't. There's nothing there.
It's not special, it's codependent and toxic.
Yeah, and the only thing that will sort it out is when Trump goes anyway. It's nothing,
Yeah. When all of them go, when this far-right fad goes.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. What else should we talk about? Should we talk about the Golders Green Brent Cross incident?
Yes, please, because there's bits of that I don't know about, so you can tell me.
Yeah, it's a big thing that happened on Wednesday. Right, so it was an attack unfolded on Wednesday. It has subsequently been labelled a terrorist attack, which we'll come on to in a minute. Yeah, which we'll come on to in a minute.
An epidemic, yeah.
Exactly. The perpetrator, called Essa Suleiman, has been charged with attempted murder. 3 charges of attempted murder, not 2, as is being widely reported in the media. Sky News, I noticed this afternoon, said a live community note, because they're reporting it as 2 charges of attempted murder.
That's despicable.
And actually, loads of people, I didn't even know this until this morning, loads of people didn't know that he attacked a Muslim guy on Great Dover Street, which is down in southeast London near London Bridge. I know it well. And he attacked a Muslim man down there. So he's got 3 charges of attempted murder, 2 Jewish men and 1 Muslim man. Does that change the story? We'll see. Obviously, the media went completely nuts because it's of where it happened. In Golders Green, well, it's Brent Cross, nearer to Brent Cross and Golders Green, but it's predominantly, it's a big Jewish area. And yeah, so I don't know. It's difficult to say these things without coming across as being anti-Jewish, and I'm not that in any shape or form, but the hysteria that's come around this story because of what's happened and where it happened is off the charts. It's really like off the charts, the kind of the noise that it's created, and it's a horrible thing. It's a nasty. The 2 men that got stabbed are fine, thankfully. Nobody died, so there's not that tragedy sort of aspect of it. And it was an awful thing. And I've seen the videos, and the man's deranged. But I think that's what it is, isn't it? I think it's a derangement rather than
He's schizophrenic.
Yeah, it wasn't a specific hate crime as far as I can tell. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't.
Psychotic break. This is what happens. This is what happens when you have a country with a counterproductive mental health system. It damages more than it helps.
Yeah, exactly.
And there are far too many people out there who need help. Like I for one, whatever comes or goes, I wouldn't touch my local mental health service, and I haven't done since they tried to kill me because they over-medicated me and then told me I was mad because I was reacting really badly to it. I despise them. It needs a complete systematic change, root and branch. And until that happens, these stabbings will continue. They happen all the time, every day in this country, because we don't have guns and people are angry and dysregulated.
I know. There was
you can't
another
take
famous...
a pill to fix a broken society. You have to fix the society.
Yeah, correct. 100% correct. There's the famous case, a guy called Valdo Calocane, you know about this one, who it's very similar, walked around the streets, and he stabbed 2 students and I think a caretaker and killed them. They killed those 3. And he was done under the Mental Health Act, and it wasn't labelled a terrorist incident or a hate crime or anything, but it was almost identical to this, apart from the kids did actually die. So he was off his meds. It was almost identical. He'd had no kind of mental health treatment, or he'd been failed by the system, exactly as you say. So this Essa Suleiman came from Somalia, I believe, as a child, in the 90s. In 2020 he was referred to Prevent because some people thought there was cause for concern, but that was closed within a year. The case, they saw him, they took a look at him, and they closed the case because they thought it wasn't likely that he was a terrorist risk. As you said, when was it? 2007 he stabbed a policeman, was it?
I think
2008.
2008 he stabbed 2 policemen and a police dog.
Yeah, that's
having
right.
a mental health, having a psychotic break. He's got history. It's a mental health system failure.
So the signs were there from that point. Failure. Yeah.
I know people who've been, I know a person who's been locked up who's got raging schizophrenia, couldn't get the treatment he needed, ended up resorting to street drugs and got locked up for that as a schizophrenic and got none of the treatment he needed while he was in prison. Yeah. Just that we could probably, if we treated mental health conditions at least adequately, no one's expecting utopia, but if we could make people better and get them back into society, you'd empty off the prisons. You wouldn't need as much, it's the same argument. Everything would be better if we looked after people and their brains. But for years and years and years, they've just cut services and cut services and cut services because rich people need to hoover up the money.
Yeah, true.
And now they're all crying because, oh my God, you can't have it both ways.
No. So
it's the same with the lad in Southport. That is not the behaviour of a rationally sane person. It just isn't.
Yeah, so, but this fact that has been withheld until today about the 3rd victim, the first victim,
and the previous attack, they're omitting a lot,
changed the entire narrative of the story. And we'll come back to it in a minute because I want to just mention what happened with Zack Polanski, because that's really relevant to what we're talking about. So have you seen the video?
No.
Of the
I've seen the bit where the police are kicking him in the head when he's prone on the floor again.
Yeah, that's the bit I wanted to mention. So the video of the police, they tasered him 3 times, and he came at them after the first one, and he went down, I think, after the second one, and he was on the floor rigid. And what happens when you're tasered is your muscles contract like this, exactly. So
like your
getting a knife
do.
out, exactly. Getting a knife out of someone's hands, very, very difficult. But they kept tasering him on the floor. No, exactly. So he was under control, I believe, on the floor, contracted from the taser, and then both police officers put the boot in to his head repeatedly and hard, like really hard, kicked him in the head. And then the second police officer on the right-hand side stamped on his head a couple of 3 times as well. Like, I know this guy's a danger and a risk, but surely that's not police procedural. Loads of people have been telling me on Twitter that's completely fine to kick someone in the head. It isn't.
It's the same as the guy at the airport, isn't it? That guy on the floor who was gripping the knife because he had no choice because he was being electrocuted, and you don't have free choice then. Your body's just... All they had to do was put a knee on his back and isolate his arm, and they could have stamped on his hand to get the knife out of his hand if it was that urgent. But unless that man is a mutant with 360-degree movement of his arms and his shoulders and can, you can't. You just can't, can you? So, no.
Yeah.
It's not acceptable.
I don't
And you
think it is
can't,
at all.
but it's all rolled into the narrative that this is an attack on Jewish people, isn't it? And it's not. Put your dictum card away. It's a man having a psychotic break. I'm tired. We're occupied and I'm sick of it. And this is the outcome of that. So what did Zack do to upset everyone?
So I didn't realise the tweet. So Zack reposted a tweet from someone on Twitter, and I went and looked it up this morning. And it's actually a friend of mine, and maybe of yours, Snow Leopardess on Twitter. And I'll read out what she put. And this is on the 29th, so it was a couple of days ago. After the video had come out, and she was reposting one of Mukhtar's posts, a video that he put out. Mukhtar posted, Mark Rowley said that the 45-year-old suspect had a history of serious violence and mental health issues. Right, okay, so we knew that 3 days ago. Then Snow Leopardess quoted Mukhtar's post and said, so essentially his officers were repeatedly and violently kicking a mentally ill man in the head when he was already incapacitated by a taser. That's what she wrote. Zack Polanski retweeted that. That's what happened. That's all that happened. And then, so the entire British media descended on Zack Polanski because he reposted that one tweet.
So why has he apologised?
He's because I think for a bit of peace, I think. It's weird. It's such a weird situation where the press have turned on a Jewish man, and they're accusing him of anti-Semitism a lot, like more than once, quite a lot now.
There's nothing else to throw at him.
Yeah.
He's a good man.
He doesn't have any skeletons in it. I think that's why he's apologised, because he's a decent bloke, and he's like,
yeah,
look, I'm just going to apologise. He knows he hasn't done anything wrong. Maybe political leaders shouldn't be reposting kind of other people off Twitter. I don't know, but Zack reposts me all the time, so I'm not going to say that because I think he's a good guy. But
all the time, you say?
Well, sometimes, not all the time. Not all the time. But yeah, so Zack Polanski retweeted the Snow Leopardess's post, that one I just read out, and that was it. So then the media went mental over this, and it got to the point where Mark Rowley, who's the Metropolitan Police Commissioner, wrote a public letter which went out on X, defend and attacking Zack Polanski, saying that exactly what he said.
Pointing out facts.
Yeah, well, so he said, defending his own officers, he said that apprehending criminals is a full contact and messy task.
It shouldn't be if your officers are trained well enough. But they're not.
No. So why is the head of the Metropolitan Police writing getting involved in politics over a retweet? Doesn't make sense.
Well, as I think I mentioned to you earlier, Don, he's very heavily into Israeli think tanks.
He is quite involved
because we're
in
occupied and they're fucking everywhere.
It's very strange behaviour. I read something online earlier that it might even be a breach of his job conditions, of him interjecting in politics. So, like, I'm going to have a bit more of a read on that. It doesn't
matter. That doesn't matter because you've got a government that are totally aligned with the Cryanists.
Yeah. Some of the stuff that Keir Starmer came out with yesterday was quite shocking. When he talked about globalised the Intifada being a call for terrorism.
He's a terrible human being.
That wasn't good. That was not good at all. So...
Intifada just means uprising. It is the translation of the word uprising. He's talking about peace marches. He's talking about rejoining the EU. He's talking about the British public should just shut the fuck up and take whatever this government wants to do on behalf of Israel and America. Well, no.
No.
Yeah.
Bringing it back to Zack Polanski. So Zack Polanski has now apologised, but like, I just don't understand why that was such a big deal. So I put the radio on a bit this afternoon, and I had to turn it off really quickly because it was infuriating me. People calling up going, Zack Polanski shouldn't be commenting on live police procedures. Fuck off. What the fuck does Suella Braverman do continuously when she's Home Secretary? Go on about hate marches. Go on.
Do us a favour, just for this segment, can you put a little ticker on the bottom of the screen?
Mm-hmm.
Is it a thing we can do?
Yeah.
That just says hashtag it's still a scam. Please.
Yeah, I can put, yeah.
Thanks.
I'll put that on.
Just so we're all abreast of what's really going on.
Yeah.
Again.
So, yeah. So the media have just gone full on for Zack Polanski because of this one retweet. It's like,
They're trying to Jeremy Corbyn him. They were always going to do that.
Nigel Farage literally spread rumours about the Southport murders that he heard from Andrew Tate, and during a live, like, terrorism, a real terrorism, whatever it was thought to be at that time. But that's fine because Nigel Farage should do it. Zack Polanski's retweeted a post saying, "Why were these officers kicking this man in the head?" And I just, let's just say, for the pod's sake, neither of us are advocating for what the man did. It's absolutely horrific, and he needed to be taken down and dealt with. But my point is, if that man, okay, I read a Guardian article this morning, I think it was, who said, I think they ended it up with, it appears that the man, oh, here it is, was suffering a medical incident at the time of being tasered as well. So if that man has brain injury now because he's been booted in the head so many times and can't stand trial, what the fuck's going to happen now?
Those officers should be removed. If they are so emotionally dysregulated they can't handle a situation that they are paid to handle, get out the job. Same as the Manchester lads.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly the same thing.
You are paid to be stone cold, emotionless, and just do your job. Do that.
Exactly. And we criticised Trump's ICE force because they're brutalising people in America, but that's the same thing we just saw 2 days ago, I think. It's the same stuff we've seen time and time again.
If you don't know how to restrain a person, go and learn Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Basic Brazilian. They should. If it was me, I'd have all police train in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, absolute basics.
Yeah.
Because that's how you can restrain people without causing injury.
Without killing them, yeah.
And somehow, very few of them do that. It's weird.
Yeah, I'm just, like, I just wonder what's going to come of this, because if that guy is unwell now, and, I mean, he's unwell mentally, we know that, but if he's now physically got some damage, like, he's not going to be able to stand trial potentially. Then they prejudiced the trial of an attempted murder. I don't know. It just doesn't sit well with me. I think that's police way
people like him need to be in
up.
Ashworth, don't they?
Sorry?
Where the Moors murderers, people like him need to be where the Moors murderers were kept in secure units.
Exactly, 100%, Broadmoor or wherever. Yeah, exactly. But people shouldn't be hoofed in the head like that. It's just not on.
No.
It's not acceptable behaviour, I don't think.
That's not justice.
No, it's not, exactly.
Democratic justice works.
And it could make it worse if that guy does have brain injuries. Because, I mean,
meanwhile, the government will be cheering him on.
Yeah.
That's who we have governing us. This is what they do. They don't give a toss if it's just a person without worth. They don't give a toss.
And it was noted as a terrorist incident at first, but I haven't heard it referred to that since then. Although the police did raise the terror threat level yesterday to severe. But
had you considered not aiding and abetting genocide?
Yeah, Mark Rowley was out saying that he's going to ask for money for an entire new police unit to police the Jewish community.
They got one.
They've got their own. I know. The Shomrem.
Do you know? I was watching the old YouTube yesterday. There's a lad that I've mentioned a few times who's called the Saviour. He's just a young lad, but he goes around vox popping all over the place. And he's just very good. He's okay.
Odd.
So
yeah, the Saviour.
He went down to Stamford Hill, I think it was, and he struggled for a bit, but he was just asking people what their view was on the war with Iran and do you support Israel, and he was there to get content, but he wasn't agreed. He wasn't rude or anything. He was always very friendly, and if somebody didn't want to speak, he'd say, "Yeah, no problem, have a nice day," kind of thing. And a few guys stopped and talked to him and sort of were pro-Palestine, even though they were like Hasidic Jews. And then the next thing you know, 4 plod turn up in a car and tell him that they've had reports he's making people uncomfortable. Full plod. And there's me sitting there thinking, oh, I remember when Morgan McSweeney's phone got nicked and they didn't give a toss.
Yeah.
Isn't that quite the thing?
I know. Strange.
Imagine being able to ring the police and 4 of them turn up in like 10 minutes. What's that?
Yeah, I know.
Apart from the
Unheard of.
1990s.
Yeah, exactly. 80s, I was thinking, but yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
and he wants money for another one. Again, I'd recommend ending the genocide if that's, what you want to do. And this wasn't even that. But they know that there's only so much attacking and killing you can do before people will come and attack you, because that's how human nature works.
It's a bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy, this thing, as well, because you see people on the TV. Did you see Marina Purkis was on? She put a clip out this afternoon, Marina, about she was on arguing with, I can't remember the guy's name. He was an Israeli guy, and he was on to the Jeremy Vine show with Marina this morning. And she just put up on her X, I'll find it and put it in the notes, but on her X, she said, what's even the point of being next to someone like this? And I watched the clip, and the guy just shouted at her, like, in his, like, they're murdering, the Hamas are killing everyone. Hamas are killing everyone. Hamas are killing. That's all he's, he was just like going on and on. Yeah. And Marina was like, what the fuck? I can't even, what's the point in even being sat next to someone and the guy kept saying, oh yeah, it's the typical media. They get 2 on against 1 for a Jewish man and all this sort of stuff. And you're like, oh,
Crimea River.
Yeah. There's a lot of people that don't do their communities any favors at all. People like that, people that specifically the Israeli government lot, who are
they're rabid.
But they're
Zionists are rabid. They're cultists.
Yeah, and they're putting these thoughts into people's heads that previously wouldn't have had them. That's the problem. I think it's self-fulfilling, that the more they cry about this stuff, the more people think, oh, actually, you are killing people repeatedly. It's just, yeah. I don't know where it ends.
They're slaughtering actual Semites whilst crying about people being anti-Semitic to them.
Yeah, it's strange. And it's a difficult conversation, because obviously if you say anything against the kind of Israeli government lobby and all that lot, you're labelled as an anti-Semite, which is obviously not the case. But it
just doesn't carry any weight anymore.
No, but it makes it much harder to talk about.
They've been doing it for that. Well, no, I don't think so. They've been doing it for that long. The people I feel sorry for are the good Jews with conscience who think it's despicable.
Completely. Yeah,
and
they're the ones that are getting.
Yeah, because there's a lot of them too. There's loads of rabbis that are just totally anti-genocide. Funny enough, because they're genuine people.
No, there's
it's criminal.
Like the vast majority, I think. But it's just, I don't know.
In fact, the Saviour, he put a clip of yesterday on Instagram. I saw this morning, and one of the guys, he said, "Oh, do you mind talking, brother?" He said, "I just wanted to ask your opinion on the war in Iran." I think he said, or something. And this guy was just like, some of them, the way they talk is just weird. And I don't know where he was. Maybe he was very Israeli, but he had a heavy accent. And this guy was, I can't remember the conversation, but it was very short and simple. And he was like, "What do you think?" And he was like, "What do you think?" And he said, "I think Israel are killing kids and it's wrong." And he went, "Anti-Semite, anti-Semite." And he couldn't, but he he'd snorted or something. He couldn't stop saying it. It was just weird. And then he walked away, and it was just weird.
Yeah. There's a very dark side of that community that are not doing the Jewish people, the good Jewish people, any favors whatsoever. That's the problem. That is the problem. The Netanyahu cult. Yeah. So anyway, I don't know. We'll see what happens with this thing. I mean, the last thing I wanted to say about it was I heard Mark Rowley again. He was on LBC yesterday morning with Nick Ferrari, and they were talking about Nick Ferrari obviously asked him about protests, because that's the other thing, is like everyone I've heard is they're blaming it on hate marches. The hate marches in London every weekend. They're not fucking hate marches.
They're peace marches.
They're peace marches. And yet, have there been people with naughty flags and naughty banners? Yes, of course. The paraglider ones were not acceptable, I don't think. But they're marching for peace, and they're marching for stopping genocide.
An end to genocide, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And getting arrested for it. It's
so Mark Rowley said, obviously, we're going to have to take a view on all these upcoming marches. He said, we've got a big one on May the 16th that we're now reviewing, the Nakba March. He said that. He didn't mention the Tommy Robinson March, of course.
Review it all you want, prick. Wig humming.
The Tommy Robinson one funded by the IDF, effectively. He didn't mention that.
Funny enough.
Strangely. So, yeah, he said we'd be reviewing the Nakba Day March on the 16th of May.
Good, more people will turn up.
Yeah, I think that's probably
what will happen.
It?
Double the people will turn up.
Yeah.
This country is occupied. We need to get Israel out of the UK.
Yeah, that was it for that. And I think the main takeaway is the fact that they hid the fact that there was a third attack on a Muslim man. I think if you don't know about that, then you can buy into the story. But if you know about that fact, changes everything.
And the fact he did it in 2008.
And that as well, yeah.
And has a long history of mental illness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's ableism.
It changes the entire... Well, there is, it is that. It is. It is.
Quality Zack my ass.
Yeah, true. Very true. So, let's move off.
Yeah. Can I do my thing that I learnt today? I was today years old when I learned about Martha's Law, which, as I'll come to, is quite the thing. I heard somebody talking about it on the telly and I thought, oh, I'll go and have a look at that. And I found a Guardian article from, today, midnight. Who knew? And it says Martha's Rule may have saved more than 500 lives in England since 2024. Oh no, I can't. So basically what Martha's Rule is if you or a relative are in hospital and you are concerned that the doctors are missing something or that your relative is getting sicker and is not being accurately attended to, you can call this number and by law, you will get a second opinion on the state of the health of that person if you're not happy with what's been... I'm delighted it's come in because I'm sure there are many times in my lifetime I could have rung that number and mitigated disaster, but it's here now. But what annoyed me, if I'm honest, is that whoever was talking about it was saying that it's on posters all over hospitals with the phone number on it. And now I've not done it very much, but I couldn't, on an instant Google, I couldn't find the actual phone number for it. And I don't know whether it's like a specific hospital phone you've got to ring on. But I've been in a lot of hospitals in the last 12 months. And I haven't seen one poster for anything. And you do sit there for quite a while and you read literally everything on the wall because the waiting times are so long.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen it
So what
either.
gives?
Yeah.
Which is why I wanted to talk about it for anyone else who hadn't heard of Martha's Rule. Because, it's going to be helpful to a lot of people, but not if you don't know about it.
Yeah, I similarly, not as badly as you, but I have been in hospitals in and out the last year or two, and I don't remember seeing it either. I don't think at all. I have heard of it briefly when you mentioned it before the pod, but I couldn't quite get to what it was. But I remember hearing about it on the radio. But yeah, it's an interesting one, and I think, as you say, it could be highly beneficial to an awful lot of people, couldn't it?
Maybe it's like an area thing, because I've been in... no. Because I've been across 3 boroughs with me, haven't I? Because I've been
travelling. Yeah.
Clatterbridge for other people. I've been to the Walton Neurological Centre. That was a mouthful. Been to Wiston, St Helens and Salford off the top of my head. And I'm not seeing a one.
No.
So who knows?
Yeah, maybe it's
but it's a thing and knowledge is power,
yeah.
so.
Yeah, well, if I find out a bit more about it, I'll put a link in the show notes if we can find some. Go on. What? What's funny?
If only we'd known about 3 weeks ago, you could have rung them after you had them stupid injections.
Yeah. My spinal nerve block didn't work.
It made it worse.
It really made it a lot worse. I was nearly paralysed for about a week.
I think it's more of a life-saving type thing. But...
Yeah.
Otherwise, everyone would be on it all the time.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. definitely. So, yeah, cool. Yeah, let's try and find out a bit more about it. And if I find something, we'll put a link in about it. So, yeah, definitely, it's worth a look, and could be important for a lot of people.
But also, what actually struck me about it was, I will wang on again about akathisia, which is when you are so over-medicated your brain goes on fire and you present like a mad person, except it's the medication that's poisoning you. And because you're so like, people aren't necessarily very kind at the time when all you need is a bit of kindness. So if you've got a relative who's on, I don't know, antidepressants or antipsychotic drugs and they're exhibiting unusual behaviours, that would be a good time to use Martha's Law, I'd say.
Yeah, look into it for sure.
Because that can and will kill people, and does.
Yeah,
and still
definitely.
nobody cares about it. So
no, we talked about that a while ago, didn't we? And it's one of
Yeah.
those things that, as you say, doesn't really get mentioned at all.
Well, I try to talk about it all the time because I've come across that many doctors who, I mean, one of the locum GPs recently, I'll go in and I'll sit down. It was when I still couldn't sleep before I got the medication I'm on now. And I was like, I'm not sleeping, I'm not eating. It's creating a whole world of trouble for me. And I don't know if there's anything. I can't remember why I was actually there, but because I'm allergic to so many medications now, I bring up and I say to the doctor, "Are you familiar with akathisia?" And 9 times out of 10, they'll say yes. And 2 out of those 9 times out of 10 will be convincing. Because I've had doctors who've said to me, "Yes, I know what it is," and then tried to prescribe me something that would have made it a million times worse. So I try to talk about it as often as I can without boring the tits off people, because people need to know about it. I'm convinced it's responsible for so many suicides every year. Because people just don't know. It's a bit like serotonin syndrome as well. And it's wrong. Also, people can profit in Big Pharma. It's disgusting.
Yeah, go back and search our YouTube for akathisia, because you did tell us a lot about it in one of our episodes. I can't remember which one it was off the top of my head. We've done a lot.
I think it was early doors, but
it was quite early doors. But yeah, if I can find it, I'll find a link to put in as well, because it's worth listening to.
It's hideous, but it is imminently fixable. It may leave long-term damage, but you'll still be alive.
Yeah, worth looking at for sure. Right, shall we end our episode on
Thank everybody for listening and sticking with us, and if you could just press the little button to like, share, subscribe, that'd be brilliant. Thank you.
Yes, please give us a follow on whatever platform you're watching or listening on. I noticed I was going to talk about that and I completely forgot. I'll save it for the next episode. Yeah, do that. Like, share and subscribe. Right, see you very soon. Bye.